Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Gnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapata Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Pashacya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayed Srinvatam Swakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Rityandastoya Bhadrani Vidunati Suhritsatam Nastaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktirbhavati Naishtiki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the person of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Haribol.
Jai.
So first we will hear about the daughters of Manu. Then Daksha curses Lord Shiva. Then there is Shiva. Then there is Sati, Daksha, Shiva, Daksha. Dhruva Maharaj leaves the home. This is everything. Haribol. So this is Shiva, Lord Shiva related. I think there is this Shivaratri coming. So now we read about Lord Shiva also.
Yes, bro, from tomorrow is there, I think. Tomorrow.
Yes, Prabhu. This is auspicious time to start this canto. Really nice. So who wants to read first?
I can read, Prabhu.
Haribol. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Chapter 1 Genealogical Table of the Daughters of Manu. Text 1 Maitreya Uvacha Manustu Shatarupayam Tishrah Kanyascha Chajnire Akutirte Vahutischa Prasutir iti Vishruta. Synonyms. Maitreya Uvacha, the great sage Maitreya said, Manohatu of Swayambhu Manu, Shatarupayam in his wife, Shatarupa, Tishra, three, Kanya, cha, daughters. Also, Judge Nire gave birth, Akuti named Akuti, Devahuti named Devahuti, cha also, Prasuti named Prasuti, iti thus, Vishruta well known. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, Swambhu Manu begot three daughters in his wife, Shatrupa, and their names were Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Purport. First of all, let us all offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Shri Śrīmad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose order I am engaged in this Herculean task of writing commentary on the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as the Bhaktivedanta purports. By his grace, we have finished three cantos already, and we are just trying to begin the fourth canto. By his divine grace, let us offer our respectful obeisances to Lord Chaitanya, who began this Krishna consciousness movement of Bhagavad Dharma 500 years ago. And through his grace, let us offer our obeisances to the six Goswamis, and then let us offer our obeisances to Radha and Krishna, the spiritual couple who enjoy eternally in Vrindavan, with their cowherd boys and damsels in Vrajabhumi. Let us also offer our respectful obeisances to all the devotees and eternal servitors of the Supreme Lord. In this fourth canto of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there are 31 chapters, and all of these chapters describe the secondary creation of Brahma and the Manus. The real criterion is done by the Supreme Lord himself by agitating his material energy. And then by his order, Brahma, the first living creature in the universe, attempts to create the different planetary systems and their inhabitants, expanding the population through his progeny, like Manu and other progenitors of living entities, who were perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. In the first chapter of this fourth canto, there are descriptions of the three daughters of Swayambhu Manu and their descendants. The next six chapters describe the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it was spoiled. Thereafter, the activities of Maharaj Dhruva are described in the five chapters. Then, in 11 chapters, the activities of King Prithu are described, and the next 8 chapters are devoted to the activities of the Pracheta kings. As described in the first verse of this chapter, Swayambhu Manu had three daughters named Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Of these three daughters, one daughter, Devahuti, has already been described along with her husband Kardamuni and her son Kapilamuni. In this chapter, the descendants of the first daughter, Akuti, was specifically be described. Swayambhu Manu is the son of Brahma. Brahma had many other sons, but Manu's name is specifically mentioned because he was a great devotee of the Lord. In this verse, there is also the word Cha, indicating that besides the three daughters mentioned, Swayambhu Manu also had two sons. Text 2. Akutim ruchiye pradat api भ्रातृत्रयमतीं नृपः पुत्रिकाधर्मम् आश्रित्य शतरूपानुमोदिता. Synonyms. Akutim, Akuti, Ruchaye, unto the great sage Ruchi, Pradat, handed over, Api, although, Bhratram Matim, daughter having a brother, Nripa, the king, Putrika, get the resultant son, Dharmam, religious rites, Ashritya, taking shelter, Shatarupa, the wife of Swayambhu Manu, Anumodita, being sanctioned. Translation. Akuti had two brothers, but in spite of her brothers, King Swayambhu Manu handed her over to Prajapati Ruchi on the condition that the son born of her be returned to him as his son. This he did in consultation with his wife Shatarupa. Purport. Sometimes a sonless person offers his daughter to a husband on the condition that his grandson be returned to him to be adopted as his son and inherit his property. This is called Putrika Dharma, which means that by execution of religious rituals, one gets a son, although he is sonless by his own wife. But here we see extraordinary behavior in Manu, for in spite of having his two sons, he handed over his first daughter to Prajapati Ruchi, on the condition that the son born of his daughter be returned to him as his son. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this connection that King Manu knew that the Supreme Personality of Godhead would take birth in the womb of Akuti. Therefore, in spite of having two sons, he wanted the particular son born of Akuti because he was ambitious to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead appear as his son and grandson. Manu is the lawgiver of mankind, and since he personally executed the Putrika Dharma, it is to be accepted such that such a system can be adopted by mankind also. Thus, even though one has a son, if he wants to have a particular son from his daughter, he can give his daughter in charity on that condition. That is the opinion of Srila Jiva Goswami. Text 3. Prajapati sa Bhagavan Ruchistasyam Aji Janat Mithunam Brahma Varchasvi Paramena Samadhina. Synonyms: Prajapati, one who is interested to beget children. Saha, he, Bhagavan, the most opulent. Ruchi, the great sage Ruchi. Tasyam, in her. Aji Janat, gave birth. Mithunam, couple. Brahma Varchasvi, very much spiritually powerful. Paramena, with great strength. Samadhina, in trance. Translation: Ruchi, who was very powerful in his Brahmanical qualifications and was appointed one of the progenitors of the living entities, begot one son and one daughter by his wife Akuti. Purport: the word Brahmavarchasvi is very significant. Ruchi was a Brahmana, and he executed the Brahmanical duties very rigidly. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Brahmanical qualifications are control of the senses, control of the mind, cleanliness within and without, development of spiritual and material knowledge, simplicity, truthfulness, faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, etc. There are many qualities which indicate a Brahmanical personality, and it is to be understood that such Ruchi followed all the Brahmanical principles rigidly. Therefore, he is specifically mentioned as Brahmavarchasvi. One who is born of a Brahmana father but does not act as a Brahmana is called in the Vedic language a Brahmabandhu and is calculated to be on the level of Shudras and women. Thus, in the Bhagavatam, we find that Mahabharata was specifically compiled by Vyasadeva for Stri Shudra Brahmabandhu. Stri means woman, Shudra means the lower class of civilized human society, and Brahmabandhu means persons who are born in the families of Brahmanas but do not follow the rules and regulations carefully. All of these three classes are called less intelligent. They have no access to the study of the Vedas, which are specifically meant for persons who have acquired the Brahmanical qualifications. This restriction is not based upon any sectarian distinction but upon qualification. The Vedic literatures cannot be understood unless one has developed the Brahmanical qualifications. It is regrettable, therefore, that persons who have no Brahmanical qualifications and have never been trained under a bona fide spiritual master nevertheless comment on Vedic literatures like the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and other Puranas, for they cannot deliver their real message. Ruchi was considered a first-class Brahmana. Therefore, he is mentioned here as Brahmavarchasvi, one who has full prowess in Brahmanical strength. Text 4. Yastayo Purusha Sakshat Vishnuryajna-swarupadrik Yastri Satakshina Bhuter Amsha Bhutanapayani Ya one who tayo out of them. Purusha, male, Sakshat directly, Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, Yajna, Swarupadrik, accepting the form, Ya, the other, Stri, female, Sa, Shri, Dakshina, Bhute of the goddess of fortune, Amsha Bhuta, being a plenary expansion, Anapayini, never to be separated. Translation: of the two children born of Akuti, the male child was directly the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His name was Yajna, which is another name of Lord Vishnu. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Purport: Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Here it is stated that both Lord and Lakshmi, who are eternal consorts, appeared from Akuti simultaneously. Both the Lord and his consort are beyond this material creation, as confirmed by many authorities. Narayana Paro Vyakta. Therefore, their eternal relationship cannot be changed. And Yajna, the boy born of Akuti, later on married the goddess of fortune. Next 5. अनेने स्वगृहं पुत्रां वितातरोचिषां स्वयंभुवो मुदा युक्तो रुचिर्जाग्रह दक्षिणाम्. Anine brought to Swagraham home Putraya, born of the daughter, Putram, the son, Vitattarochisam, very powerful, Swayambhuva, the Manus named Swayambhuva, Mu- Muda, being very pleased, Yukta, with Ruchi, the great sage Ruchi, Jagraha, kept, Dakshina, the daughter named Dakshina. Translation: Swayambhu Manu very gladly brought home the boy named Yajna, who was so beautiful, and Ruchi, his son-in-law, kept with him the daughter Dakshini. Purport: Swayambhu Manu was very glad to see that his daughter Akuti had given birth to both a boy and a girl. He was afraid that he would take one son, and that because of this his son-in-law Ruchi might be sorry. Thus, when he heard that a daughter was born along with the boy, he was very glad. Ruchi, according to his promise, returned his male child to Swayambhu Manu and decided to keep the daughter, whose name was Dakshini. One of Lord Vishnu's names is Yajna, because he is the master of the Vedas. The name Yajna comes from Yajusampati. In the Yajurveda, there are different ritualistic prescriptions for performing yajnas, and the beneficiary of all such yajnas is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Therefore, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yajnaphat Karmana. One should act, but one should perform his prescribed duties only for the sake of Yajna or Vishnu. If one does not act for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or if one does not perform devotional service, then there will be reactions to all his activities. It does not matter if the reaction is good or bad. If our activities are not dotted with this, with the desire of the Supreme Lord, or if we do not act in Krishna consciousness, then we shall be responsible for the result of all our activities. There is always a reaction to every kind of action. But in actions are performed, but if actions are performed for yajna, there is no reaction. Thus, if one acts for yajna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is not entangled in the material condition. For it is mentioned in the Vedas and also in the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas and the Vedic rituals are all meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. From the very beginning, one should try to act in Krishna consciousness. That will free one from the reactions of material activities. Thank you, Prabhupada. Someone wants to continue?
Haribol, thank you so much, bro. Oh, Haribol. Hare Krishna, Praveen Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Suresh Prabhu, Tandarpanam, Jai Shla Prabhupada, and Siddharth Prabhu also. Thank you for joining, Prabhu. So who wants to read next?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
So I can
Dandapranan, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhu. Vivek Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu, I will read. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu, and always Guru Srila Prabhupada. Text or text Prabhu 6. Okay. Tam kamanyam Bhagavan Vaha Yajusam Pati Tustyam Tosham Apano Janayat Vadastakmajan Atam Har Kama Yanam desiring Bhagavan the Lord Vaha married Yajusam of all sacrifices, but Pati, the master, Tustayaham, in his wife, who was very much pleased, Tosham, great pleasure, Apnaha, having abstained, Agnyayat, gave birth, Dvadasa, 12, Atmajan, sons. Prabhu, uh, like before the last five verses, like uh, from like what happened, Prabhu, like I didn't clearly understand like how it goes. Like the sons are like confusing for me. Like you know about this too. First, what happened? We got 3 daughters in his wife.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just
Maitra is
again.
talking.
Okay, Prabhu. First, like so we can be in the flow. Like Prabhu, first, what happened? Maitra said, Swayambhu Manu, we got. Oh, wait.
Now, let
Yes,
me tell you, Prabhu, this is, sorry, in fact, Swami Prabhu, let me
yes, Prabhu.
continue. So, this fourth canto starts the history of Dhruv Maharaj. Okay. So, in fact, to be more precise, this talks about the Swayambhu Manu and his lineage. Okay. So, here, Swayambhu Manu and his wife, Shetarupa, had 3 daughters. Okay, Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. You might have heard
Okay.
about Devahuti in the previous chapter, who was the wife of Kardamuni. Okay,
Yes, Prabhu.
to whom Kapil Dev was the
Yes,
son.
Prabhu.
Okay, so
Okay.
now this chapter talks about other daughters. Okay, so
Akuti.
Akuti, maybe, yeah, Akuti, yes, exactly. So
Okay.
here, the other stream of line will be discussed in detail. Okay, so Uttanapada, who is the father of Dhruv Maharaj, okay, and other sons as well, other personalities will be discussed. So the stage is being set in this chapter right now.
Yes, Prabhu. Like I am asking, like Prabhu, like for last 5 verses we have read, Prabhu. So like in that the lineage is there. Like Akuti got 2 children, like Yajna and Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. And I didn't understand about. I'm confusing about the after daughter, like the male son will give to Swayambhu Manu, like how it. I'm confusing about that. Prabhu.
1 second. Let me read out all those translations again, Prabhu. Prabhu, let us get started from text 1 again. Only translations.
Okay.
This is text 1. Okay. Maitreya said, Swayambhu Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Shatarupa, and their names are Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Move on,
Okay.
Prabhu, to the next translation. In fact, I didn't join when
Yes, yes,
these
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
when these verses were going on. Okay, second verse is
Yes, Prabhu.
Akuti had two daughters. Okay, but in spite of her brothers, okay, King Swayambhu Manu handed her over to Prajapati Ruchi. Akuti had two brothers, but in spite of her brothers, King Swayambhu Manu handed over her over to Prajapati. Okay, so Akuti was handed over to Prajapati Ruchi. Okay, on the condition that the son. Okay, so Akuti was the wife of Ruchi Prajapati. Okay, here
Okay,
the
okay, okay.
condition here the condition made by Swayambhu Manu was the son born of her. Okay, for here her means Akuti. Okay, should be returned to him as his son. That means
Okay, and
Swayambhu
understand.
wanted to adopt the son of his daughter
Akuti.
as his
Akuti,
son.
okay. I
Exactly.
understand.
This he did in consultation with his wife Satrabha. Okay. Can you please go to the next verse? Next translation. Next translation.
Prabhu,
Ruchi. Yes, Prabhu.
in the last translation, Satrupa, who, Prabhu?
Satrabha was the wife of Swayambhu Manu,
Okay, 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 okay.
the mother of
Okay,
Akuti, Prasuti, and Devahuti.
okay, okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. I understand, Prabhu. Next one.
Ruchi, who was very powerful in his Brahmanical qualifications and was appointed one of the progenitors of the living entities, begot one son and one daughter by his wife Akuti. Okay, see, let us understand the
Understand,
word
Prabhu.
Prajapati. Prajapati means one who is responsible for generating the humankind. Okay, Prajapati, just like
Okay,
Daksha
okay.
Prajapati, Ruchi Prajapati. Okay, these are
Okay,
all these personalities are responsible for spreading the human kind. Okay, so
okay,
that's why
Prabhu.
he's responsible to develop the humankind. So he got a son out of his wife Akuti.
Understand, Prabhu.
Yeah. Next verse, Prabhu. This is the third one. Next was in the fourth one. Fourth one, what does it say? Of the two children born of Akuti, okay, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his name was Yajna. Okay. Okay, Akuti and Ruchi got two kids.
No, I understand, Prabhu.
Out of which one was the male kid. He was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose name was Yajna. Okay. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal consort of Lakshmi. Okay. The other one is the incarnation of Lakshmi.
I understand, Prabhu.
And moreover, make a note of this word, partial. It's not the complete incarnation.
Okay.
Next one, Prabhu. I think this is fine. Fifth verse says that
Like
Swayambhu
means,
Manu was
Prabhu, partial incarnation means Lakshmi's incarnation, I think so.
Lakshmi's partial incarnation, not the complete full
Okay.
incarnation. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Swayambhu Manu very gladly brought home the boy named Yajna, who was so beautiful, and Ruchi, his son-in-law, kept with him the daughter. Okay. Here there were two kids. One was Yajna and the other one was the incarnation of partial incarnation of Lakshmi. Okay. Here Ruchi and Akuti kept
Gave the beautiful son to Swayambhamana.
Swayambhu Manu kept the daughter. Okay, with them.
Yes, Prabhu.
In Hansinla, kept with him the daughter. Okay, her name is Dakshina. Okay, Yajna and Dakshina. Yajna was given to Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa. Dakshina was with their original with her original parents, Ruchi and Akuti.
Okay. 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 Understand, Prabhu. Now we can move on to the next verse.
Okay, next one. Okay, you please
Thank you,
continue.
Prabhu.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Sorry for the delay, Prabhu. Like,
Not a problem. Let us understand. Okay.
Prabhu, translation, Prabhu. I have read this, so we can go to translation. Yes, Prabhu. Translation. The Lord of the ritualistic performance of Yajna later on married Dakshina, who was anxious to have the personality of Godhead as her husband, and in this wife, the Lord was also very much pleased to beget 12 children. Purport: An ideal husband and wife are generally called Lakshmi Narayana to compare them to the Lord and the goddess of fortune, for it is significant that Lakshmi Narayana are forever happy as husband and wife. A wife should always remain satisfied with her husband, and a husband should always remain satisfied with his wife. In the Chanakya Shloka, the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, it is said that if a husband and wife are always satisfied with one another, then the goddess of fortune automatically comes. In other words, then the goddess of fortune automatically comes. In other words, where there is no disagreement between husband and wife, there is all material opulence present, and good children are born. Generally, according to Vedic civilization, the wife is trained to be satisfied in all conditions, and the husband, according to Vedic instructions, the Vedic instructions. In other words, uh, where where there is no disagreement between husband and wife, there is all material opulence present, and good children are born. Generally, according to Vedic civilization, the wife is oh shit repeatedly trained to be satisfied in all conditions, and the husband, according to Vedic instructions, is required to please the wife with sufficient food, ornaments, and clothing. Then, if they are satisfied with their mutual dealings, good children are born. In this way, the entire world can become peaceful. But unfortunately, in this age of Kali, there are no ideal husbands and wives. Therefore, unwanted children are produced, and there is no peace and prosperity in the present day world. Text 7 of the time. Okay, we can read that.
But one question, bro. 1 second. But here, I don't know how Yajna married Dakshina, because
Dakshina.
they both were
Yeah,
siblings.
brothers and sisters.
They both were siblings. How could they marry? Swami Prabhu, are you getting me?
No, Prabhu, I'm confused.
No, in fact, see, understand this. Swayambhu Manu had this one of the daughters of Swayambhu Manu was Akuti. Akuti's husband was Ruchi. Ruchi and Akuti had two children. One was Yajna and the other one was Dakshina.
Yes, Prabhu. Like they are like brother sisters. They are married, I think.
Exactly.
Hmm. Yes, yes. Anyway, Prabhu, the like incarnation of Lord can do anything, or
Mm.
something like that.
Yes, Prabhu, there's so many names that I got confused.
Yeah, give in the chat.
Now I understand, Prabhu. After the Praveen Prabhu told me about that, it's only simple, Prabhu. Like Swayambhu Manu was the
Eh,
Rupa
This
was the
this
wife.
translation this translation confirms that Akuti and Ruchi had two children.
Mm.
One of them was the supreme personality of Godhead, whose name was Yajna, and the other kid, who was female, was the partial incarnation of Lakshmi, whose name was Dakshina, which was described in the next verse.
Yes,
Swami Prabhu,
Prabhu.
are you getting? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Swami Prabhu, are you getting, na?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
But in the following verse, it was said that Yajna and Dakshina got married.
Brother and sister, they have married.
Yes, Prabhu, but they were married since because if it is it Lakshmi? See, Lakshmi,
Prabhu,
goddess of
like,
fortune. because
Yes.
they are married since the
No,
birth.
Prabhu.
Because Lakshmi
Prabhu,
and
no,
Vishnu
Prabhu.
are never separated, so they're they're forced to get married. There is no such thing as Lakshmi and Vishnu appearing separately. Even if they come in same family, they must be married because that's their
Yeah.
position.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's how we need to understand this. But ideally, brother and sister are not allowed to get married with each other.
Yes, Prabhu. At least in modern age, it's like this.
Hmm.
Yeah, but in Lord's
Like Prabhu,
families, this is
Prabhu,
different. Yes, Prabhu.
actually, Prabhu, like the Akuti gave the son to the Swayambhamanu. That means the Yajna was the son of
Of course,
Swayambhamanu.
that's true, Prabhu. But still, he was her son as well. Even though he was adopted by um, her father. Okay,
Uh,
so but still, he continued to be his son. In fact, her son.
uh, Prabhu, like I understand, but the thing was, the yajna was like yajna. Akyuti gave the yajna to the Swayambhamanu. In the like first, the Akuti married for the Ruchi in the condition that his son should give to Swayambhamanu as a son after some age. Okay, so that means the uh, Yajna was son of Swayambhamanu. Okay,
That's okay, bro. I got your point. So now Yajna became the son of Swayambhu
Swayambhamanu.
Manu. Okay, so
Mm.
that means, in other words, Yajna became Akuti's younger brother. So
Ah,
in that in that sense, the relationship is okay. But still, even though he was adopted by Swayambhu Manu,
mm.
does it mean that he would not be her son?
Prabhu, but the condition was like that, na Prabhu.
That's
So
condition is okay.
it should be
Condition okay.
accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm telling to.
Okay. Anyhow, yeah, let's continue.
Okay, bro.
Did we read this purport?
Like we have to. No, Prabhu, we have to. The
Did,
Lord of the rituals, performance of Yajna, later on married. We have read this. We have read this. Prabhu, next we can read the next. Yes, Prabhu. Exactly. Answer, Prabhu.
but also in the beginning, everyone is from Lord Brahma. So in the same way, he's the father of who is coming, the Prajapatis and everyone also. So in this way, everyone is related.
Yes, Prabhu.
So,
Yes, Prabhu. I can continue. Tosha proktas. Sorry. Tosha protosah santoso prada santir idaspati idaman kavir vibhu vahana सुदेवो रोचनो विदे द्विस्त विसत् विसत् तोषः तोष प्रतोषः प्रतोषः सन्तोषः सन्तोषः भ- भद्र भद्र सन्ति शान्ति इदस्पति इदस्पति इदमन् इदमन् कवि कवि विभु विभु स्वहान स्वहान सुदेव सुदेव रोचन रोचन विश विश्वत विश्वत well translation the 12 boys from born of Yajna and Dakshina were named Tosha Pratosha Santosha Bhadra Santi Idaspati Idama Kavi Vibhu, Swahana, Sudeva, and Rochana. Yes, Prabhu, who wants to continue? Continue. I have read two, so you can get the chance to read.
Thank you
No,
so much.
I will continue. I will continue, Prabhu. No problem. Thank you. Text 8. तुषिता नाम ते देवा आसन् स्वयंभुवान्तरे मरीचि मिश्रा ऋषयो यज्ञः सुर गणेश्वरः. Synonyms: Tushitaha. The category of the Tushitas. Nama of the name. Te, all of them. Devaha, demigods. Asan, became. Swayambhuva, the name of the Manu. Antarre, at the period. Marichi Mishraha, headed by Marichi. Rishayaha, great sages. Yajnaha, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Sura Gana Ishwaraha, the king of the demigods. Translation performance Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: during the time of Swayambhu Manu, these sons are all became the demigods collectively named the Tushitas. Marichi became the head of the 7 rishis, and Yajna became the king of the demigods Indra. Purport: during the life of Swayambhu Manu, 6 kinds of living entities were generated from the demigods known as the Tushitas from the sages headed by Marichi, and from descendants of Yajna, king of the demigods, and all of them expanded their progeny to observe the order of the Lord to fill the universe with living entities. These 6 kinds of living entities are known as Manus, Devas, Manuputras, Amshavataras, Sureshwaras, and Rishis. Yajna, being the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God, it became the leader of the demigods, Indra. Okay. Text 9. Priyavratottana pado Priyavratottana pado Manuputrau Mahau Jasau Tatputra Pautra Naptranam Naptrinam Anuvrittam Tadantaram. Synonyms: Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Manuputras, son of Manu, Maha Ojasau, very great, powerful, Tat, their Putra, sons, Pautra, grandsons, Nat, Natprinam, grandsons, Natrinam, grandsons from the daughter, Anuvrittam, following Tadantaram, in that Manu's period. Translation: Swayambhu Manu's 2 sons Priyavrata and Uttanapada became very powerful kings, and their sons and grandsons spread all over the 3 worlds during that period. So here understand, Prabhu, Swayambhu Manu got 3 daughters. Along with those 3 daughters, there were other 2 sons as well, whose names were Priyavrata and Uttanapada. And Dromada Maharaj was the son of Uttanapada. Text 10. Devahutim Adattata कर्दमायात्मजां मनुः तत्सम्बन्धि श्रुत प्रायं भगवत्ता गदतो मम. Synonyms: Devahutim, Devahuti, Adat, handed over, Tata, my dear son, Kardamaya, unto the great sage Kardama, Atmajam, daughter, Manuhu, Lord, Swayambhu Manu, Tat Sambandhi, in that connection, Sruta Prayam, heard almost in full, Bhagavata, by you, Gadataha, spoken, Mama, by me. Translation: my dear son, Swayambhu Manu handed over his very dear daughter Devahuti to Kardamuni. I have already spoken to you about them, and you have heard about them almost in full. Text 11. दक्षाय ब्रह्मपुत्राय प्रसूतिं भगवान् मनुः प्रायच्छाद् यत् कृतः सर्गस्य त्रिलोक्यां विततो महान् synonyms. Dakshaya unto Prajapati Daksha, Brahmaputraya the son of Lord Brahma, Prasutim Prasuti, Bhagavan the great personality, Manu Swayambhu Manu, Prayachat handed over, Yat Kritaha done by whom, Sargaha creation, Trilokyam in the three worlds, Vitataha expanded, Mahan greatly. Translation: Swayambhu Manu handed over his daughter Prasuti to the son of Brahma named Daksha, who was also one of the progenitors of the living entities. The descendants of Daksha are spread through the three worlds. So, Swayambhu had three daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Akuti was handed over to Ruchi. Devahuti was handed over to Kardama, and Prasuti was handed over to another Prajapati called Daksha.
Oh, isn't Daksha the one who didn't know how to behave and then something happened?
Yeah, the Daksha one was the one who insulted Lord Shiva. Okay,
Oh,
and his head was beheaded by the devotee of Lord Shiva called what is his name? Veerabhadra.
yes, Prabhu. Yeah, now I remember this.
Yes. Textual. याह कर्दम सुताः प्रोक्ता नव ब्रह्मर्षि पत्नयः तासां प्रसूति प्रसवं प्रोच्यमानं निबोध मे. Synonyms: याह, those who, Kardama Sutaha, the daughters of Kardama, Proktaha, were mentioned, Nava, 9, Brahmarshi, great sages of spiritual knowledge, Patnayaha, wives, Tasam, their, Prasuti, Prasavam, generations of sons and grandsons, Prochya Manam, describing Nibodha, try to understand, me, from me. Translation: you have already been informed about the 9 daughters of Kardama Muni who were handed over to 9 different sages. I shall now describe the descendants of those 9 daughters. Please hear from me. Purport: in the third canto, it is already described how Kardama Muni begot 9 daughters in Devahuti, and later on all the daughters were handed over to great sages like Marichi, Atri, Vasishta, etc. Text 13. पत्नी मरीचेस्तु कला सुषुवे कर्दमात्मजा कश्यपं पूर्णिमानं च योयर आपूरितं जगत्. Synonyms: Patni, wife, Marichah, of the sage named Marichi, tu, also Kala, named Kala, Sushuve, gave birth, Kardama, Atmaja, daughter of Kardama Muni, Kashyapam, of the name Kashyapa, Purnimanam, Cha, and of the name Purnima, Yayoh, by whom Apuritam spread all over Jagat, the world. Translation: Kardama Muni's daughter Kala, who was married to Marichi, gave birth to 2 children whose names are Kashyapa and Purnima. Their descendants are spread all over the world. Okay, text 14. Purnima Suta Virajam Visrajam Cha Parantapa Devakulyam Hare Pada Sauchad Yabhut Sarid Divaha synonyms. Purnima Asuta begot Virajam, a son named Viraja, Vishwajam Cha, and named Vishwaja. Parantapa, O annihilator of enemies, Devakulyam, a daughter named Devakulya, Hare of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pada Sauchat, by the water which washed his lotus feet, Ya, she, Abhut, became Sarit Divaha, the transcendental water within the banks of the Ganges. Translation: My dear Vidura, of the two sons, Kashyapa and Purnima, Purnima begot three children. It has to be of the two children, Kashyapa and Purnima. Purnima begot three children, namely Viraja, Vishwaja, and Devakulya. Of these three, Devakulya was the water which washed the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, and later on transformed into the Ganges of the heavenly planets. Devakulya. Okay. Purport. Of the two sons, Kashyapa and Purnima is not a son. She was the daughter. Okay. Because go back, Prabhu, go back to the previous verse. No, not this one. Go back.
Oh, it's a daughter?
Yeah, daughter, yes. See, Kardamuni's daughter Kala, who was married to Machiri, gave birth to two children, whose names were Kashyapa and Purnima. Their descendants are spread all over the world.
Yes, Prabhu.
See, in the synonyms, see, Kardama Atmaja, daughter of Kardama Muni, Kashyapam, of the name Kashyapa, Purnima Cha, and of the name Purnima.
Yeah, the Kala is daughter of Kardamuni.
Okay, who was married to Marichi, gave birth to two children whose names were Kashyapa and Purnima.
Yes, Prabhu. So it's a boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl, exactly. Okay, Kashyapa was a boy and Purnima was a daughter.
Yes, Prabhu.
But here, in that verse, it was given as two sons.
Oh, let's see. Oh,
The
see.
next verse
Yeah, it's
says
two
sons.
children. Yeah, it's two
The
sons,
next
I
verse
think.
says Purnima is a son.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, but this verse only says two children. It doesn't say.
Yeah, but the verse after it says,
Yeah, I got it. But Purnima is the name of a girl, Prabhu. It's not a
Oh, is
male's
it?
name. Yes.
she
Oh, I didn't
had
know.
two sons, Kashyapa and Purnima.
I got it. I got it. Yeah, here it is mentioned as two sons.
So it's a male, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Some reason he got name like this.
Okay, fine. Now,
Oh,
this
yeah, great.
is 15. Yeah. Atreya Patni Anasuya Trin Jagne Suyassaha Sutan Dattam Durvasasam Somam Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan. Synonyms: Atreya of Atri Muni, Patni wife, Anasuya named Anasuya, three, Jajne bore, Suyashaha, very famous, Sutan, sun, Dattam, Dattatreya, Durvasam, Durvasa, Somam, Soma, the moon god, Atma, the super soul, Isha, Lord Shiva, Brahma, Lord Brahma, Sambhavan, incarnations of translation. Anasuya, the wife of Atri Muni, gave birth to three very famous sons, Soma or moon, Dattatreya, and Durvasa, who were partial representations of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. Soma was a partial representation of Lord Brahma, Dattatreya was a partial representation of Lord Vishnu, and Durvasa was a partial representation of Lord Shiva. Purport. In this verse, we find the words Atma, Isha, Brahma, Sambhavan. Atma means the super soul or Vishnu, Isha means Lord Shiva, and Brahma means the four-headed Lord Brahma. The three sons born of Anasuya, Anasuya, the three sons born of Ansuya, Dattatreya, Durvasa, and Soma, were born as partial representations of these three demigods. Atma is not in the category of the demigods or living entities because he is Vishnu. Therefore, he is described as Vibhinnasma. Vibhinnamsa Bhutanam. The Drupar soul or Vishnu is the seed giving father of all living entities, including Brahma and Lord Shiva. Another meaning of the word Atma may be accepted in this way: the principle who is the super soul in every Atma, or one may say the soul of everyone, became manifested as Dattatreya because the word Amsha, part and parcel, is used here. In the Bhagavad Gita, the individual souls are also described as parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Super Soul. So, why not accept that Dattatreya is one of those parts? Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma are also described here as parts, so why not accept all of them as ordinary living entities? The answer is that the manifestations of Lord Vishnu and those of the ordinary living entities are certainly all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and no one is equal to him. But among the parts and parcels, there are different categories. In the Varaha Purana, it is nicely explained that some of the parts are Swamsa and some are Vibhinnamsa. Vibhinnamsa parts are called Jivas, and Swamsa parts are in the Vishnu category. In the Jiva category, the Vibhinnamsa parts and parcels, there are also gradations. That is explained in the Vishnu Purana, where it is clearly stated that individual parts and parcels who can travel to any part of the Lord's creation are called Sarvagata and are suffering the pangs of material existence. They are subject to be freed from the coverings of ignorance under material existence according to different levels of work and under different influences of the modes of material nature. For example, the sufferings of jivas who are situated in the mode of goodness are less than those of jivas situated in the mode of ignorance. Pure Krishna consciousness is the birthright of all living entities because every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The consciousness of the Lord is also in the part and parcel, and according to the portion to which that consciousness is cleared of material dirt, the living entities are differently situated. In the Vedanta Sutra, the living entities of different gradations are compared to candles or lamps with different candle power. For example, some electric bulbs have the power of 1000 candles, some have the power of 500 candles, some the power of 100 candles, some 50 candles, etc. But all electric bulbs have light. Light is present in every gradations of Brahman. The Vishnu Swamsa expansions of the Supreme Lord in different Vishnu forms are like lamps. Lord Shiva is also like a lamp, and the supreme candle power or the 100% light is Krishna. The Vishnu Tattva has 94% and Shiva Tattva has 84%. Lord Brahma has 78%, and the living entities are also like Brahma, but in the conditioned state, their power is still more dim. still more dim. There are gradations of Brahman, and no one can deny this fact. Therefore, the words Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan indicate that Dattatreya is directly part and parcel of Vishnu, whereas Durvasa and Soma are parts and parcels of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, respectively. Text 16. Vidravvacha atre grihe sura sreshtaha sthiti उत्पत्ति अंत हेतवः किंचिच चिकीर्षवो जाता एतद् आख्याहि मे गुरो. Synonyms. Vidra Vacha. Sri Vidra said, Atre Grihe, in the house of Atri. Sura Sreshtaha, chief demigods. Sthiti, maintenance. Utpatti, creation. Anta, destruction. Hetavaha, causes. Kinchit, something. Chikirshavah, desiring to do. Jataha, appeared. Etat, this. Akhyahi, tell. Me, to me. Guru, spiritual master. Translation. After hearing this, Vidura inquired from Maitreya, my dear master, how is it that the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the whole creation, became the offspring of the wife of Atrimuni? Purport. The inquisitiveness of Vidura was quite fitting, for he understood that when the Supreme Soul, Lord Brahma, when the Super Soul, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva all appeared through the person of Anasuya, the wife of Atrimuni, there must have been some great purpose. Otherwise, why should they appear in such a way? Text 17. Maitreya Vacha. Come on, bro. Maitreya Vacha. Brahmana Chojitaha Srishtav Atrir Vidam Varaha Sahapatniya Yayav Riksham Kuladrim Tapasi Stitaha. Synonyms. Maitreya Vacha. Sri Maitreya Rishi said, Brahmana, by Lord Brahma, Choditaha, being inspired, Srishtav for creation, Atrihi Atri, Brahma Vidam, of the persons learned in spiritual knowledge, Varaha, the chief, Saha, with Patniya, wife, Yayav, went Riksham, to the mountain named Riksha Koladrim, great mountain, Tapasi, for austerities, Sthita, remained. Translation. Maitreya said, when Lord Brahma ordered Atrimuni to create generations after marrying Anasuya, Atrimuni and his wife went to perform severe austerities in the valley of the mountain known as Riksha. Purport. No purport. Text 18. Tasmin प्रसून तस्मिन् प्रसून स्तबक पलाशाशोक कानने वार्भिः स्रवद्भिर् उद्घुष्येत् निर्विन्ध्यायाः समन्ततः. Synonyms. Tasmin, in that prasuna stabaka, bunches of flowers, palasha trees, ashoka tree, kanane, in the forest garden, varbihi, by the waters, sravadbihi, flowing, udgushte, in sound, nirvindhyayaha, of the river Nirvindhya, samantataha, everywhere. Translation. In that mountain valley flows a river called Nirvindhya. On the bank of the river, there are many Ashoka trees and other plants full of palasha flowers. and there is always the sweet sound of water falling from a waterfall. The husband and wife reach that beautiful beautiful place. Text 19. Pranayamena samyamya mano varshasam munihi atishtadeekapadena निर्द्वन्द्वो नील भोजनः synonyms pranayamena by the practice of the breathing existence samyamya controlling manaha mind varsha satam 100 years munihi the great sage atishta remained there ekapadena standing on one leg nidvan Nirdvandaha without duality. Anila air. Bhojanaha eating. Translation. There, the great sage concentrated his mind by the yoga breathing exercises and thereby controlling all attachment. He remained standing on one leg, come down without any duality and eating only air. Standing on one leg only, eating nothing but air, and stood there on one leg for hundreds of years.
We can eat there.
We cannot. That is not possible in this age, Prabhu.
Yes, true.
All this happened in Satyuga, Prabhu, where austerity was the prominent way of following the devotional practice. Okay, but here in this age, our bodies are not capable to eat anything lighter than food, subtler than food. So it is highly impossible for us to survive just with water or air. We need
Yes,
something
true.
hard.
Yes, we need gulab jamun, Haribol. Okay, one more verse, then it's 20.
Text 20. Sharanam tam prapadyeham ya eva jagat ishvaraha prajam atmasa mam mahyam prayachatva iti chintayan synonyms sharanam taking shelter tam unto him prapadye surrendered aham I yaha one who eva certainly jagat ishvaraha master of the universe prajam sun atma samam like himself mahyam unto me prayachatu let him give iti thus chintayan thinking. Translation: he was thinking, may the Lord of the universe of whom I have taken shelter kindly be pleased to offer me a son exactly like him. Purport: it appears that the great sage Atri Muni had no specific idea of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, he must have been conversant with the Vedic information that there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the creator of the universe, from whom everything emanated, who maintains this created manifestation, and in whom the entire manifestation is conserved after dissolution. Yatova Imam Bhutani. The Vedic mantras give us information of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he concentrated his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead even without knowing him, without knowing his name, just to beg from him a child exactly on his level. This kind of devotional service, in which a knowledge of God's name is lacking, is also described in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says that there are four kinds of men with the backgrounds of pious activities who come to him asking what they need. Atrimuni wanted a son exactly like the Lord, and therefore he is not supposed to be a pure devotee because he had a desire to be fulfilled, and that desire was material. Although he wanted a son exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, still it is. Come down, Prabhu. It was material desire because he did not want the personality of Godhead himself, but only a child exactly like him. If he had desired the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his child, he would have been completely free of material desires because he would have wanted the Absolute Truth. But because he wanted a similar child that was material, thus Atri Muni cannot counted among the pure devotees.
Interesting.
One who wanted a similar child like the Supreme Personality was not considered as a pure devotee. What to speak of us?
Yes, Prabhu.
What is our situation? Where are we?
And how little difference is with the material and spiritual desire. He wanted similar, but not the Supreme Lord, so it's material.
And what about us, Prabhu? We have so many material desires. In that case, where are we?
Yes, Prabhu.
Mm.
Okay, tomorrow we continue from 21. Thank you so much, Praveen Prabhu, for reading so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. చేతోదర్పణమార్జనం చేతోదర్పణమార్జనం భవమహాదావాగ్ని నిర్వాపణం శ్రేయఃకైరవచంద్రికా వితరణం విద్యావధూజీవనం ఆనందాంబుదివర్ధనం ప్రతిపదం పూర్ణామృషా స్వాదనం సర్వాత్మా స్నపనం పరం విజయతే శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తనం.
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पितानि अमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशमिह जानिनानुरागः.
ऋणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तने सदा हरिः. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कवितां वा जगदीश कामये न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरी भवताद्भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि.
ऐनन्दतन्द्रकिङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिशिरसंविद्युतया नैनं गलदाश्रुतारया वदनं मृत्युर्दया गिरा कुलकर्निचिन्तं वपुपदा तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा परवेशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं गुरवरे नमः आश्लिष्य वापादरतं भिन्नस्तु मामदश्नर्मा हतं करोतु वा तदता भवदतं पटो मत्पाणः तस्य सेवया न परः. Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana. This is the best of all. Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the art of all the days accumulated for years and extinguishes the fear of conditioned life and of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it serves the race of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want a causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of material, ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling a separation and considering a moment to be like 12 years or more, tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya
Jai.
Mahaprabhu ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Baujanma Karayati Shavana Kirtan, Tabutana Paya Krishna Pade Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of Godhead that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent the name of the Lord.
Third offense is to disobey the orders of spiritual master or think of him as an ordinary person. Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic virgin. Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Eighth offense is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities karma kanda. Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. And tenth offense is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desired trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripa sandarbhavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo.
Nanda Koda Vaishnavinda ki jai, Shila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai,
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 Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu,
Jai.
for
Thank you
recitation.
so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hari Bol. Okay, so
Hari Bol.
tomorrow everyone try to join the